Welcome again to our today's class and a preview of what I last discussed in my today's class was a comprehensive description of a hormone called thyroxine, where it is actually secreted and whatever it plays in as far as a human being is concerned. And we majorly said that thyroxine hormone is produced by the thyroid gland located in the neck region. That is what I last mentioned to you in my last lesson. And we said this thyroid gland is able to get stimulated by the hypothalamus. Just to emphasize on this, you should know this, that hypothalamus does not directly stimulate or trigger the thyroid gland nervously to produce thyroxine hormone. But first, hypothalamus sends a triggering effect to a very important gland or the master gland called pituitary gland. So first, a hypothalamus sends a stimulus to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland sends a thyroid stimulating hormone to the thyroid gland, and that can bring about either the oversecretion or the undersecretion of thyroxine hormone, depending on the concentration of that hormone in the bloodstream. When the bad part of it occurs, then you can actually realize that there is undersecretion of that thyroid stimulating hormone so that less of the thyroxine hormone is produced. And actually, you should know this, that this is a nervous oriented communication, where when the blood passes through the hypothalamus part of the brain, which is now the forebrain, and there's a low concentration of thyroxine hormone, the hypothalamus part of the brain is sensitized. It actually releases a stimulus or a trigger stimulus to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland, on getting stimulated, it actually gets triggered to produce the thyroid stimulating hormone. The thyroid stimulating hormone is able to get released to the thyroid gland, and that thyroid gland can be able to produce a hormone called thyroxine that can effectively be able to perform different functions. So thyroid stimulating hormone. I did mention the effects of hypothyroidism or undersecretion of thyroxine by the thyroid gland. And today, I just want to give you two very important ways that you can be able to actually control or be able to counteract the effects of hypothyroidism. Which control measures, which aspects can a doctor put in place or a medical practitioner try to put in place so that you can be able to actually create solutions for this problem? Most doctors would actually recommend one to be able to have what you call a balanced diet with iodized table salt. Iodized table salt. Take a balanced diet that has what you call iodized table salt, because iodine is a component of thyroxine hormone, and that can affect the production of enough concentration of this hormone. And if that does not actually be able to get done, someone can be able to actually have what you call iodine supplements getting provided. Iodine supplements can get provided, or someone can take iodine tablets to actually provide enough iodine in the body, because we said an inadequate amount of iodine in the body of a human being can be one of the causes of hypothyroidism. And if someone takes a balanced diet with iodized table salt or iodine supplements or iodine tablets, then the person can have enough iodine, and because it forms a component of thyroxine hormone, then there can be enough of this hormone in the body of this human being. Now, if we turn back to something else called hyperthyroidism, this means oversecretion of thyroxine hormone. Oversecretion of thyroxine hormone. The effects of this are as follows. Number one, there's what you call goiter as a very important condition. The thyroid gland still overworks itself to produce a large amount of thyroxine hormone, which translates into hyperthyroidism or oversecretion. And that can as well make this thyroid gland to swell, leading to a condition called goiter. And because there is what you call a large amount of thyroxine hormone, there's always a higher rate of metabolism. And with a high rate of metabolism, that translates into a high breathing rate, increased heartbeat, so that the blood can get supplied to the muscles, so that enough of the oxygen and nutrients can get supplied for the increased rate of metabolism. And of course, a large amount of energy in form of heat is produced. That may actually make the temperature to rise, so high temperature. And because of a high rate of metabolism, someone will end up having what you call a thin skin. Most people will even lose hair in most cases. Many, because of a high rate of metabolism or oxidation of glucose, they are hyperactive and they may end up becoming restless. Look at that. Some become nervous. Some become nervous. Some become nervous. So you might end up having goiter as a condition because of the overworking of the thyroid gland to produce a large amount of thyroxine hormone, leading to what you call hyperthyroidism, increased metabolism that translates into high breathing rate, increased heartbeat, and high temperature. There's what you call the thinning of the skin. There's what you call loss of hair, so many can lose hair. And of course, people become restless and very nervous. And they are easily irritable, easily irritated easily. So those are just some of the effects that someone can be able to find in an individual that actually has hyperthyroidism. Now, how do we actually control this hyperthyroidism? One, you may decide to actually remove a part. So remove a part of thyroid gland that is very active, and you can only do this surgically. Remove a part of the thyroid gland that is very active surgically. Or you can use what you call radioactive iodine 131. So you take the radioactive iodine 131, you pass those radiations through the skin in the neck region to be able to lower the highly active thyroid gland, so that you can be able to lower its activity and be able to prevent an abnormal growth that can actually get translated into what you call goiter. So radioactive iodine 131, removal of a part of the thyroid gland that is very active surgically, can be one of the ways that can be able to get used to ensure that the rate at which thyroid gland is working is lowered, so that less of that thyroxine hormone is produced, to avoid cases of what we call hyperthyroidism. Thank you so much for today, and may we meet in our next lesson.